Good morning, my blither-toos. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I've already started work this morning, and honestly, I was just going to crack on ahead and get some work done. But today, I, I have the very great fortune of editing Mr. Swales, played by Dom Pascal in Dracula, coming up. And he has some of the wildest language I've ever heard in my life. Like, British has a lot of different accents, right? Well, this is one of the weirdest that I've ever had. Let's read a couple of sentences and then we'll hear Dom's great version of. It be all full talk, lock, stock and barrel, that's what it be and nought else. These bands and wafts and bogos and barges and boggles and anant them is only fit to set barns and dizzy women a belder, and they be nought but air blebs, then all crims and signs and warnings be all. What the hell is he talking about? Well, of course it all makes sense, but I thought you'd quite like to hear some of this very excellent performance by Dom. Here we go.
It be all full talk, lock, stock and barrel. That's what it be and naught else. These bands and wafts and bogles and barguests and boggles and all into 'em. They're only fit to set bairns and dizzy women a beldering. There be naught but air blebs. They ain't all grims, signs, warnings. Be all invented by parsons and ilsome bird bodies and railway touters to scare and scunner rafflins, and to get folk to do summat they don't other inclined to. It makes me eye full to think of 'em. Why, it's them that are not content with printing lies in paper and preaching it out at pulpits doesn't want to be cutting them on tombstones. Look here, all around you, where you will. All them stones holding up their heads as well they can out of their pride. Is they can simply falling down with weighted lies wrought on 'em. Here lies the body or sacred to memory wrought on all of 'em. Wrought on 'em. As wrought on 'em. Here lies the body or sacred to memory wrought on all of 'em. And yet in all of 'em. And yet in nigh half of 'em there ain't half of 'em there ain't been no bodies at all, and memories of 'em been cared a pinch of snuff about, much less sacred. A snuff about, much less sacred. Lies, all of 'em. Nought but lies, of one kind or t'other. My God, but it'll be a queer scowdament at the day of judgment when they come tumbling up in their death sacks, all juked all juked together and try to drag their tombstones with them to prove how good they were. And some of them trembling and dithering with their hands all dozened and slippery from lying in sea that they can't even keep a grip of them. They can't even keep a grip of them. Can't even keep a grip of them. Can't even keep a grip of them.
Oh, GURP is grip, is it? See, fortunately, Dom is Italian and French living in Britain. So, my God, what a wealth of accents and linguistic knowledge, And he's got a great voice and performs really well. And he understands some of the technical stuff. He's a real gift, And he comes to us, of course, from the recent reading competition. And the technology that he was using was quite bad for the competition. But I heard something in him that I thought was quite good, and actually told him, look, if you go out and buy a proper microphone, I will promise you work, And he did. He went out and he bought a microphone, and he's been working for us pretty solidly ever since then, because yeah, like I said, he's a real gift. I would put him up, pretty close to Tim Williams. who of course was O'Brien in 1984, and the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, and the artilleryman in War of the Worlds. He's done quite a lot of really good work for us. But with these two together, you know, it's a real gift, a real gift. In fact, there's a short story coming out sometime soon-ish that has both of them and myself working together, and I think that's going to be quite a good one. Is that down here? No, I don't know where I've put it. Doesn't matter. I wasn't going to play it for you anyway. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, all right. So we might get back to work, eh? Yeah, there we go. So what are we going to do about this?
Even keep a grip of them. You can't even keep a grip of them. Keep a grip of them. See that they can't even keep a grip of them. You can't even keep a grip of them. Keep a grip of them. You can't even keep a grip.
So he's left me that as an option, obviously, because that's not there. Right. Their hands that dozen and slippery from lying in the sea that they can't even keep their grip of them. I didn't even know what that meant. Grip is grip, apparently. There we go.
Even keep a grip of them. You can't even keep
Let's see if we
grip
can.
of them. You can't even keep.
I think I do like that, but see, maybe I can lay that. See, he's done that really well. He's even read the next bit. This is the difference. Some of my actors are a little bit lazy, right? I give them these things here. Let's have a look at Harker, right? You get all of your lines extracted from the text, okay? And then I say, hey, you have to go and read, you know, the actual text as well, you know, and then check them afterwards using these. But the lazy actors will just read these. They will just perform their lines without reading the chapter, without getting the context or the story beats or anything like that. And it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing, and I can hear it 100%. But you never have to worry about that with guys like Dom or Tim Williams, because they will, you know, absolutely do the work. They will do the study, and that's great. And most of my actors, to be fair, are quite good with that sort of thing.
Keep a grip of them. You can't even keep a grip of them. You can't even keep a grip of them.
All right, so I think we'll just
Grip of them.
I might. There you go. We'll give a bit of a gap there. I might lay that under the next lines. We'll see.
Yablins. There may be.
Yablins. Who starts a sentence with the yablins? What does that even mean? What the hell is yablins? Anyway, Dom knows, and that's what's important.
Yablins. There may be a poorish few not wrong, stating where they make out people too good. There be folk that do think a barn bowl be like sea, if only it be their own. The whole thing be only lies.
Alright, I'll break that up a little, give it a little half-second break there. I'll put it over. There we go.
If only it be their own. The whole thing be only lies. Now, look you here. You look you here. Now, look you here. Now, look you here. You'll come here as stranger, and you'll see this Kirkgarth, and you'll concede that
Kurtgarth. Maybe that's a name?
you'll see this Kirkgarth, and you'll concede that all these stones be about folk that apt here. Snod and snog.
Ah, that was a big break.
See this Kirkgarth.
Here's Kurtgarth. Right, okay. So that actually needs a bigger break. Insert the silence. Thank you. Do, do, do. There we go.
And you'll concede that all these stones be about folk that apt here. Snod and snog. Then that be just where lie comes in. Why they discuss and snog. Then that be just where lie comes in. Why they discuss of these lay beds that be two old Dunn's backer box on a Friday night. Two old Dunn's backer box on a Friday night. Dunn's backer box on a Dunn's backer box on a Friday night. Suma's old Dunn's backer box on a Friday. On a Friday. Suma's old Dunn's backer box on a Friday. Box on a beds that be Tuma's old Dunn's backer box on a Friday night. And my God, how could there be otherwise? And my God, how could there? And my God, how could? And my God, how could there be otherwise? Look at that and be aftist above the beer bank. Read it. Aye, and who brought him home, I wonder to... The aftist above the beer bank. Read it. Aye, and who brought him home, I wonder to happen here. Murdered off coast of Anders. And you considered his body lay under. Why, I could name ye a dozen whose bones lying off coast of Anders. And you could... Murdered off coast of Anders. And you considered his body lay under. Why, I could name ye a dozen whose bones lying Greenland seas above. Where current... Greenland seas above. Where currents may have drifted 'em. There be stones around ye. May have drifted 'em. There be stones around ye. Ye can with your young eyes there be stones around ye. Ye can ye 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 can with your young there be stones around ye. Ye can with your young eyes read small print that lies from here. This breath where it lies from here. Lies from here. This print that lies from here. This breath where This Braithwaite Lowry I knew his father. Lost Stint Livy off Greenland in 20. Or Andrew Woodhouse drowned his father. Lost Stint...
Sorry, I forgot you were streaming. So I went to talk to one of our actors and then remembered that this was live. So I just pretend you didn't see that Facebook page. It's yeah, it's not the real one anyway, but still.
Lowry...
Pretend you didn't see it.
Lowry I knew his father. Lost Stint Livy off Greenland's father. Lost... Lowry I knew his father. Lost Stint Livy off Greenland in 20. Or Andrew Woodhouse drowned in 20. Or Andrew Woodhouse drowned in same seas in 1777. Or John Paxton drowned off Cape of Farewell a year later. Or John Rawlins, whose grandfather sailed with me, drowned in Gulf of Finland in... drowned in Gulf... with me, drowned in Gulf of Finland... with me, drowned in Gulf of Finland in 50. Do you think all these men will have to make a rush to Whitby when trumpet sounds? I have me anthems about it. I tell you, when they got here, they'd be jumbling and jostling one another that way that it'd be like a fight up on... that it'd be like a fight up on... that it'd be like a fight where that it'd be like a... that it'd be like a fight up on ice in old days, when we'd be at one another from daylight... when ice in old days, when we'd be at one another from daylight to dark and trying to tie up our cuts by the Aurora Borealis. We're trying to tie our cuts up by the Aurora Borealis. You'll remember them days, don't you?
Oh, a bit of improv there. Very nice. Very nice.
You'll remember them days, don't you? You do, I know you do. Yeah, I do. Aurora Borealis. We're trying to tie our cuts, we're trying to tie our cuts up by the...
So we'll get that, and we will insert a bit of silence, because I'll lay that as a separate file when I'm doing the final edit.
Aurora Borealis.
They don't need that much of a break.
You'll remember them days.
Well, that was the end of that. Yes. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I do. Well, what else be the tombstones for, eh? Answer me that, miss. To please their...
Okay, these gaps aren't actually this big, of course. I just make them that big so they're easily visible when I'm looking at the file later to make the final edit.
To please their relatives, you suppose? Ah, how will it pleasure their relatives? Ah, how will it pleasure their relatives to know that Liza's... How will it pleasure their relatives to know that Liza's wrote over them, and that everybody in this place knows that they be lies? Lies. Read the lies on that thruffstone. Yeah, I don't see all fun. Thruffstone. Yeah, I don't see all funny. Well, that... That's so funny. Well, that's because you don't go home. The sorrowing mother was a hell cat that hated him because he was hooked. A regular lamiter he was, and he hated her, so that he committed suicide in order that she mightn't get an insurance she put on his life. He blew night
That's a bit extreme.
she put on his life. He blew night top of his head off. Put on his life. He blew night top of his head off with an old musket that they had for scaring crows with. 'Tweren't for crows then, for it brought the clegs and dopes to him. That's the way he fell off rocks. And as to hopes of a glorious resurrection, I've often heard him say himself that he hoped to go to hell, for his mother was so pious that she'd be sure to go to heaven, and he didn't want to waddle where she was. Now he's flat as stone at any rate. A pack of stone at any rate. Stone at any rate. A pack of lies. And won't it make Gabriel cackle when Jody comes panting up the grease with his tombstone on his hump? And I sit be check as evidence.
I understand at any rate. Alright, wait.
He ought to go to hell, for his mother crows then. Didn't she put on his life? He blew night top of his head off with an old musket that they had for scaring crows with. 'Tweren't for crows then, for it brought the clegs and dopes to him. Ought to go to heaven, and he didn't want to waddle where she was. Now in that as stone at any rate. A pack of lies. And won't it make Gabriel cackle when Jody comes panting up the grease with his tombstone on his hump? And I sit be check as evidence. Won't check as evidence.
Now this probably looks very fiddly to you, but I promise you this is actually going really well. We've only been editing this for 23 minutes. I guess I was doing 15 or so before I opened up the stream, and we're already 7 minutes in. That's really, really good. That's like twice as fast as some of the files I have to work on.
That one time, you me pretty. And it may make poor Geordie gladsome to have so trim a lass sitting on his lap. That won't hurt you. Why, I've sat here on and off for nigh on 20 years. That won't hurt you. Why, I've sat here on and off for nigh on 20 years past. And it ain't done me. 20 years past. And it ain't done me no harm. Don't ye fash about 'em, don't ye? Me no harm. Don't ye fash about 'em as lies under ye, or that don't lies under ye, or that doesn't lie there either. It'll be time for ye to be either. It'll be time for ye to be getting scarred when you see the tombstones all run away with, and the place as bare as a stubble field, and the place tombstones all run away with, and the place as bare as a stubble field. Oh, there's the clock.
Another break for a sound effect there. A huge one. There we go.
Oh, there's the clock.
Actually, that should be fine.
Stubble field. Oh, there's the clock. I must gang. My service to you ladies.
That's just him leaving, is it? Some generic old man sounds.
I want to say something.
Nah. Alright, the next one. We'll have to Seaward, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I want to say something.
Okay.
I want to say something.
Actually, that's got to go. Alright. Doom doom.
I want to say something to you, miss. You miss. I am afraid, my dearie, that I must have shocked you by all the wicked things I've been. Must have shocked you by all. Must have shocked you by all the wicked things I've been saying about the dead and such like for weeks past. But I don't past. It's past, but I didn't mean it. Weeks past, but I didn't mean them, and I want you to remember. Weeks past, but I didn't. For weeks past, but I didn't mean them, and I want you to remember that when I'm gone, we old folks that be daffled and with one foot abaft the croakhole don't altogether like to think of it, and we don't want to feel scared of it. Don't altogether like croakhole don't altogether like to think of it, and we don't want to feel scared of it, and that's why I took to making light of it, so that I'd cheer up light of it, so that I'd to making light of it, so that I'd cheer up me own heart, making light of it, so that I'd cheer up me own heart a bit. Oh, but Lord, ye miss, I ain't afraid of dying, although I don't want. I'd cheer up me own heart a bit. Oh, but cheer up me own heart a bit. Oh, but Lord, ye miss, I ain't afraid of dying, although I don't want to die if I can help it. My time must be nigh at hand now, for I behold that 100 years are too much for any man to expect. And I'm so nigh it, any man to expect. And I'm so nigh it that the old man's already wet. Nigh it that the old man. Nigh it that the old man's already wetting his side. You see, I can't get out the habit of coughing about it all at once. The chaffs will wag as they used to. Someday soon, change wag as they used to. Someday soon, change they used to. Someday soon, Angel of Death will sound his trumpet for me. Oh, but don't you duel and greet me, dearie. Greet me, dearie. If he should come this very night, I do not refuse to answer his call. For life, answer his call. For life be, after all, only waiting for something else than what we're doing, and death be all that we can ride for something.
Didn't John Lennon say something like that?
For life be, after all, only waiting for something else than what we're doing, and death.
Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. And death. He didn't do that bit, but yeah, that's quite good. I normally I would tighten that up a bit, but I quite like that delivery. I like that pacing.
For life be, after all, only waiting for something else than what we're doing, and death. Be all that we can rightly depend on. But I'm content it's coming for me, me dearie. I'm coming quick. Me dearie. I'm coming quick. It may be coming while we're looking and wondering. Maybe it's in that wind out over at sea that's bringing with it a loss and wreck and sore distress and sad hearts. Look! Look! There's something in the wind and in the heart. Look! And sad hearts. Look! 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 There's something. Look! Look! There's something in the wind and in the host beyond that sounds and looks and tastes and looks and sounds and looks and tastes and smells, tastes and smells like death. It's in the air. Death. It's in the air. Death. It's in the air. I can feel it coming, Lord. Lord, make me answer. Feel it coming, Lord. Make me answer cheerful when my time comes. Well, you know what they say, there's nought so queer as folk. It's true that. Some people do say that. I'll do. I'll do. Young man, how are you getting along, eh? Nice to see you. How's your father? Cheerio then. See you when on. Right. Happen.
Oh, that was brilliant. That's all extra at the end there. That's all just nonsense, which I like. I'm quite a fan of nonsense. Where's that? When my time comes, that's it. Now someone else does speak. That's just a random yeah, random Coast Guard. That's an extra. Okay, great. So when my time comes.
When my time comes.
Okay, so everything after that, I'm not
Time comes.
I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to keep all of that because that is gold. But it's got nothing to do with this this text. But there's some stuff in there that I may well put in as flavor in early bits, like some of the chuckling and the whatnots. Alright, so that's Swales done. Now we've only got one left from this bloop, 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 bloop. Where are we? The current audiobook. Dracula working, chapter 6. Dr. Seward, played by the inimitable Timothy McWilliams.
5th of June.
And I might have already cleaned this up, I'm not sure.
5th of June. The case of Renfield grows more interesting the more I get to understand the man. He has certain qualities, very largely developed: selfishness, secrecy, and purpose.
Now, normally, of course, I would delete all of the breaths, right? I hate breaths, I hate extraneous breaths, unless they're part of the performance, like someone is out of breath or very emotional or something like that. I will delete an actor's breath every single time. But Seward, in this book, his bits... Where are we? There we go. It's all kept on a phonograph, right? So it's spoken anyway. So I will leave the breaths in unless they're horribly over the top. So let's just listen to Tim's most excellent work and read along and see if there's any jagged bits that need cleaning.
Purpose. I wish I could get at what is the object of the latter. He seems to have some settled scheme of his own, but what it is I do not know. His redeeming quality is a love of animals, though, indeed, he has such curious turns in it that I sometimes imagine he is only abnormally cruel. His pets are of odd sorts. Just now, his hobby is catching flies. He has at present such a quantity that I have had myself to expostulate. To my astonishment, he did not break out into a fury, as I expected, but took the matter in simple seriousness. He thought for a moment and then said, "May I have 3 days? I shall..." He thought for a moment and then said, "May I have 3... May I have 3 days? I shall clear them away." "Of course," I said that. "Of course, I shall clear them away." Took the matter in... He thought for a moment and then said, "Of course," I said, "that would do. I must watch him." 18th of June. He has turned his mind now to spiders, and has got several very big fellows in a box. He keeps feeding them his flies. The number of the latter is becoming sensibly diminished, although he has used half his food in attracting more flies from outside to his room. 1st of July. The spiders are now becoming as great a nuisance as his flies, and today I told him that he must get rid of them. He looked very sad at this, so I said that he must as great a nuisance as his flies, and today I told him that he must get rid of them. He looked very sad at this, so I said that he must some of them, at all events. He cheerfully acquiesced to this, and I gave him the same time as before for reduction. He disgusted me much while with him, for when a horrid blowfly, bloated with some carrion food, buzzed into the room, he caught it, held it exultantly for a few moments between his finger and thumb, and before I knew what he was going to do, put it in his mouth and ate it. I scolded him for it, but he argued quietly that it was very good and very wholesome, that it was life, strong life, and gave life to him. This gave me an idea, or the rudiment of one. I must watch how he gets rid of his spiders. He has evidently some deep problem in his mind, for he keeps a little notebook in which he is always jotting down something. Whole pages of it are filled with masses of figures, generally single numbers added up in batches, and then the totals added in batches again, as though he were focusing some account, as the auditors put it. 8th of July. There is a method in his madness, and the rudimentary idea in my mind is growing. It will be a whole idea soon, and then, oh, unconscious cerebration, you will have to give the wall to your conscious brother. I kept away from my friend for a few days, so that I might notice if there were any change. Things remain as they were, except that he has parted with some of his pets and got a new one. He has managed to get a sparrow and has already partially tamed it. His means of taming is simple, for already the spiders have diminished. Those that do remain, however, are well fed, for he still brings in the flies by tempting them with his food. 19th of July. We are progressing. Tempting them with his food. 19th. By tempting them with his food. 19th of July. We are progressing. My friend has now a whole colony of sparrows, and his flies and spiders are almost obliterated. When I came in, he ran to me and said he wanted to ask me a great favour, a very, very great favour. And as he spoke, he fawned on me like a dog. I asked him what it was, and he said, with a sort of rapture in his voice and bearing, "A kitten, a nice little," his voice and bearing, "A kitten, a nice little sleek, playful kitten that I can play with and teach and feed and feed and feed."
You got lost there a little bit. That is a very, very tight edit. Eh? What have I done? Oh dear.
A kitten.
What? Why is it all of a sudden just
A
playing
kitten.
one channel? Oh, that's infuriating. Okay, 356. We're at 356, people. Remember that? 356. Oh dear. $356. We are at 356. 356. 356. Anything? Right, come on now. 356. We can remember that.
Sort of rapture in his voice and bearing, "A kitten, a kitten.
There we go. Now you'll hear this is a very hard edit.
In his voice and bearing,
right? That is harsh.
his voice and bearing,
But if we smooth it,
his voice and bearing,
then you're just going to hear some of the next word. So we're going to have to hard cut Renfield's line there and slam it right up against that. Otherwise it's going to sound horrible in the end product. We'll just save that real quick. There we go. My paranoia is overcoming now. Anyway.
I was not unprepared for this request, for I had noticed how his pets went on increasing in size and vivacity. But I did not care that his pretty family of tame sparrows should be wiped out in the same manner as the flies and spiders, so I said I would see about it, and asked him if he would not rather have a cat than a kitten. His eagerness betrayed him as he answered, "Oh, yes, I would like it," as he answered. "Oh, yes, I would like a cat. I only asked for a kitten lest you should refuse me a cat." No one would refuse me a kitten, would they? Eagerness betrayed him as he answered,
Is that?
"Oh, yes, I would like a cat. I only asked for a kitten lest you should refuse me a cat." No one would refuse me a kitten, would they? Betrayed him as he answered.
One of these days,
Betrayed him as he answered.
I'm going to have Tim read his own whole book
Betrayed him as he answered.
and produce it for him, and I think he'll do a brilliant job.
I shook my head and said that at present I feared it would not be possible, but that I would see about it. His face fell, and I could see a warning of danger in it, for there was a sudden, fierce, sidelong look which meant killing. The man is an undeveloped, homicidal maniac. I shall test him with his present craving and see how it will work out. Then I shall know more. 10 p.m. I have visited him again and found him sitting in a corner, brooding. When I came in, he threw himself on his knees before me and implored me to let him have a cat, that his salvation depended upon it. I was firm, however, and told him that he could not have it, whereupon he went without a word and sat down, gnawing his fingers in the corner where I had found him. I shall see him in the morning, early. 20th of July. Visited Renfield very early, before attendant went his rounds. Found him up and humming a tune. He was spreading out his sugar, which he had saved, in the window, and was manifestly beginning his fly-catching again, and beginning it cheerfully and with good grace. I looked around for his birds, and not seeing them, asked him where they were. He replied, without turning round, that they had all flown away. There were a few feathers about the room, and on his pillow a drop of blood. I said nothing, but went and told the keeper to report to me if there were anything odd about him during the day. 11 a.m. The attendant has just been to see me to say that Renfield has been very sick and has disgorged a whole lot of feathers. My belief is, doctor, he said, that he has eaten his birds and that he just took them and ate them raw. 11 p.m. His birds and that he just took them and ate them raw. Ate them raw. Just took them and ate them raw. 11 p.m. I gave Renfield a strong opiate tonight, enough to make even him sleep, and took away his pocketbook to look at it. The thought has been buzzing about my brain lately is complete, and the theory proved. My homicidal maniac is of a and the theory proved. My homicidal is complete, and the theory proved. My homicidal maniac is of a peculiar kind. I shall have to invent a new classification for him and call him a zoophagous, life-eating maniac. What he desires is to absorb as many lives as he can, and he has laid himself out to achieve it in a cumulative way. He gave many flies to one spider, many spiders to one bird, and then wanted a cat to eat the many birds. What would have been his later steps? It would be almost worthwhile to complete the experiment. It might be done if there was only a sufficient cause. Men sneered at vivisection, and yet look at the results today. Why not advance science in its most difficult and vital aspect, the knowledge of the brain? Had I even the secret of one such mind, did I hold the key to the fancy of even one lunatic, I might advance my own branch of science to a pitch compared with Burton Sanderson's physiology or Ferrier's brain knowledge would be as nothing. If only there was a sufficient cause. I must not think too much of this, or I may be tempted. A good cause might turn the scale with me, for may not I too be of an exceptional brain congenitally? How well the man reasoned. Lunatics always do within their own scope. I wonder at how many lives he values a man, or if at only one. He has closed the account most accurately, and today begun a new record. How many of us begin a new record with each day of our lives? To me it seems only yesterday that my whole life ended with my new hope, and that truly I began a new record. So it shall be until the great recorder sums me up and closes my ledger account with a balance to profit or loss. Oh, Lucy, Lucy, I cannot be angry with you, nor can I be angry with my friend whose happiness is yours. So I must only wait on hopeless and work. Work, work. If I could have a strong cause as my poor mad friend there, a good, unselfish cause to make me work, that would be indeed happiness.
God damn, he's good, isn't he? Eh? Isn't he good? Good lord. What I need is a cloning machine so that I can have a few Tims and a few Doms and make some of them ladies. 'Cause I need more female actors. I do. Wow. Okay, so that is all of the characters. Now it just comes to put them together. However, I am rapidly running out of time. I have only 10 minutes to go. So I think I will set up for chapter 6 and then call it for today. I'd come back tomorrow. I do hope to have chapter 6 done by the end of the week, and I think that should be okay. Lots of these early diary entry chapters are fairly easy on the sound effects. They're not particularly difficult. What's that one? That's the blank one, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, so you're not necessary, but that's okay. We don't have to get rid of you either. Okay, so now this one is predominantly Mina, which is a little bit annoying, actually. That's okay. It's difficult. It's difficult because there's so many little voice parts. Bloop. Okay, we'll move the music up to there. Brilliant. Then we should take Miss Mina in chapter 6R, edit AR, and put it there. I still have to record the intro as well. Okay, so that's all right. And then we'll save a copy of that as Dracula C6. Okay, and that's fine. And then that's ready for work. I will come back tomorrow and start putting that all together. Although I think I have a few little bits, like I would like Tim to go through that one again, and like most of Dr. Seward is quite flat because he's an academic, you know. But there are a few little bits of passion. And I think he's getting quite excited in this bit, and that can probably be toned up a little. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it sounds when I put it all together. I have bigger problems with this chapter, to be honest, because it's huge. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for coming along and having a listen and checking out how these things are put together in the painstaking way in which they are formed. I hope you found it moderately interesting. We'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, I'll stream it. What the heck? It's getting to the more interesting parts when you're putting together all the lines. This master editing stuff, I tend to not stream this because it's quite dull. It's just very fiddly, little painstaking work. But yeah, the next bit's a bit more interesting as I put it all together and start laying sound effects on and whatnot. Excellent. So have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.